The opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed on today's radio show and their guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints of Easy Way Broadcasting.
Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, the show about all things human from a baby boomer's perspective. All things hot and all things not. News, reviews, interviews, chat, text, and what's next. And here are your hosts, Reatha Gray from Betty White's Off Their Rockers and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley.
Good morning, everybody. Radio Boomers Livers. Reatha, good morning.
Good morning.
Wow. Hey, Reatha, we're a week older. How do you feel? Oh, jeez. We can't stop the clock here.
You've got a birthday coming up. Are you ready for it? Yeah. You.
Hey, Reatha, I got a question for you. How many birthdays does the average man have?
I would say 71.
Okay, we're always trying to stump Reatha, but it's almost impossible. But I may have gotten her today. Reatha, the average man or woman has only one birthday. Oh, well, I better move along before she gets mad at me. But anyway, you know, I've been trying for years, and you always seem to have the answer. So maybe I got a little one in on you today. But Reatha, I'll tell you what, a lot of exciting things going on. And I'll tell you what, this August 30th, Gold Carpet Easy Way Awards and gala for you know, the situation with the
award.
Yeah, I just dropped something here. For the Chalk Foundation is just amazing. I mean, you know, it's different on the online situation today than it was back in the 60s, you know. I mean, it was so slow and old-fashioned.
There was no online in the 60s, Jim.
No, it was hard finding a computer back then, you know, if you wanted to email.
Very hard.
No, but
we actually were there before the computer.
Yeah, and then you remember when they would start showing, like, the government computers, they were the size of a Walmart, and with the big reels.
Yeah.
God. And it's amazing how you take all that, tons of equipment, and have it in the palm of your hand. It's almost unbelievable. You know, this
it
stuff.
Really is. In our lifetime, it is amazing.
Yeah. And moving right along. Just like that, it's time for commercials.
Well, actually, we're going to go to...
Hot topic.
We're going to go to Hot Topic.
Hot topic time.
Ripped from the headlines. Today's Hot Topic.
Well, it's Shark Week. Every year I hear about Shark Week, and I've never actually watched it, but I'm going to try to catch some of it this week. Shark Week is that summertime special that takes place at the end of July every year for, a couple of decades, I think now. It's on the Discovery Channel, and it shows all of these TV shows about sharks, and they figure out different ways to talk about sharks. It is a marketing frenzy. In Shark Week, they have T-shirts, they have Build-A-Bear plush sharks, they have Shark Week sunglasses, they have Summer Shark Caribbean Cruise from the Princess Cruises. You can go get all things shark this week. And I actually have gone swimming with the sharks. I did it years ago. I wasn't young, but it was years ago. And it is a fascinating thing. I swam uncaged with the sharks, where they chum the water, they throw big chunks of meat into the water. The sharks come and you go down and you snorkel. Actually, you don't go down in the water deep, but you snorkel on top of them. You watch them in this feeding frenzy, and then they tell you to get back on the boat. Well, you know me, I wanted to hang out and look a little bit longer and get that last picture. And the guy is saying, come on, lady, come back to the boat now. Come on, lady. And then when I get on the boat, he starts yelling at me, "What were you doing? They were finished eating. They were about to eat you. Why did you come with?" I thought, oh my, I guess they are real sharks. It's not Disneyland. But it is an exciting adventure. They are huge. They are fascinating to be that close to. Now, the type of sharks I was swimming with were not great whites, but all sharks have teeth and can bite you. So, yeah, I still recommend it because it's a great adventure. But I was in the Caribbean where they don't have any insurance, so they don't really care whether or not the sharks bite you because you can't sue them. But you can go to Mexico, you can go to Caribbean, you can go to other countries, swim with sharks. Now, lately we've been having all kinds of shark attacks, but sharks really don't want to attack people. It's just that the schools of fishers are coming to the shore, so they're coming to eat, and you might look a little tempting. So watch sharks this week. Learn how to be safe around sharks. Learn fun facts about sharks. Have a good time with sharks, but be careful in the water. If they say there's sharks in the area, get out. Get out. It's not like Jaws. They're not chasing you, but they might mistake you for a tasty morsel. That's my hot topic this morning. Jim, what's yours?
Makes you think twice about going out there, but it's a good point, Reatha. Anyway, the East Coast and the Midwest had quite a bit of a heat wave. They're recovering from that. Not sure if some hurricanes might be brewing out there again, so they're ready. And people are starting to leave when they hear the warnings. Another hearing with Mueller, questioned by Dems trying to find out some more cracks about the Russian collusion theory, and the latest Mueller questioning, it really was a dead end. North Korea fires another test missile into the ocean in response to South Korea's military training exercises. It's a tit-for-tat type thing. Miss World America from Michigan lost her pageant crown because of her conservative views, and she wouldn't wear the hijab headdress, and they're questioning that whether they should have pulled the title. Iran's big anti-regime rally there. A lot of the people aren't happy with the economy and how the regime is running the country and so on. The UK has a new prime minister, Boris Johnson. He was formerly made the new prime minister July 24th, and he starts with pretty much of a big challenge, if you've been following the news, with 99 days to renegotiate the Brexit with the European Union in order to get a withdrawal, and it's got to be in place by October. So that's a pretty big deal if you study the Brexit situation. San Juan, Puerto Rico, mass protests there about the corruption in the government, and it was so large it caused the resignation of the president governor. And aspirin a day, many would say, would prevent a heart attack. 30 million have been following this regimen. One half of the people over 70 take an aspirin to prevent heart attack. If you're over 70, you have more risk of aspirin injury than through internal bleeding. So if you're concerned about the heart, you need to do a check. Check out before you take all these aspirins and make sure you're not causing damage. A ship full of refugees leaving Libya sank. 115 died in the sinking. 134 were rescued, leaving the Libya area to go to Europe for a better life. This has happened before. 59% of organic farming is done by women due to a driving desire for social impact. Their initial issue, learning to drive vehicles, tractors, that have manual transmissions. A massive 1,100-pound bone was found. It is considered to be the largest dino bone ever found, and it would have come from the largest dinosaur, 140 million years old. Fetch, throw the bone. Huge swarms of grasshoppers landed in Las Vegas. I remember the locusts in Illinois. Boy, when they come in, they are all over the streets, the homes, everywhere. And the grasshoppers hit Vegas pretty hard. not really any damage in that, but they're irritating. We have, the temperatures you've been hearing about, climate change and so on and so forth, been affecting Greenland. In July alone, 160 billion tons of ice melted. That would fill 64 million swimming pools. That's a lot of ice melting. Records are set if a rise of just a small percentage of a degree is something of concern. Lately, there has been a 2 and 3 and 4% rise in temperatures, and they say it's unprecedented. Interest rates are still at a low for the new time buyers, low 4%. That's when they do it. Try to get, because it'll keep your payments low. So this is, it was 9%, like I mentioned before when I bought back 40 years ago. Millennials are on track to be the most obese generation in history. 7 in 10 will be obese by middle age. And obesity epidemic has also hit the baby boomers. Baby boomers, 1 in 3 now are counted as obese. 30 pounds overweight body mass index is considered obese. The average man is 5'9" and weighs approximately 195 pounds. The average female 5'4", weighs 170 pounds. The good news is you can drop that weight if you have the desire, they say. And to get in shape, there's more and more clubs and fitness openings, stores opening up. So get in shape, Reatha. What do you think?
I think we are a puffy generation. What can I tell you? Let's move on to a word from our sponsor.
Our sponsor time. And time for the
Boomers
sponsor.
Forever Young is really making a name for themselves as an exciting nutritional company with products that really work. People from all over the country are starting to take notice. Their whole-person approach to health and wellness, combined with their unique array of powerful natural health products, are setting them apart from all the other companies in the nutrition industry. Their customers love the one-on-one free consultations and the results they experience. Sound a little too good to be true? Then go online to boomerboost.com today and sign up for a free consultation with a product specialist, or just give us a call at 1-800-861-4609. Again, that's boomerboost.com, or call 1-800-861-4609 to join the thousands already experiencing the benefits of Boomers Forever Young products.
Looking to grow and align your brand with celebrities and other established brands? Your brand is all about your entire customer experience. Everything from your logo, your website, your social media experiences, the way you answer the phone, to the way your customers experience your staff. So why not let us help you get your branding right from the start? At Easyway Promotions, we are a new class of professionals providing first-class online branding, promotion, social media, website development, editing, graphic design, public relations, media, SEO, and online advertising to give your business the competitive edge to stand out. Our highly experienced experts will not only help you increase your online presence, but also provide you with a proven online strategy to help you increase the value of your company and make acquiring new customers easier. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today and let us help you grow your business exponentially.
For more information, contact 424-209-9290 or visit easywaypromotions.com. That's letter E, letter Z. We also encourage you to like our Facebook page at Easyway Promotions.
Yes, indeed. Well, Rafe, I take my Boomer Boost, and it gets me going in the morning. And are you doing your jogging, Rafe? Are you staying in shape?
I am not.
Okay, good.
I should be embarrassed. I go to the doctor and they ask you every time, do you exercise? And I just stop lying. No, I don't.
You're very straight out and honest about that. I give you credit, but no, that's so cool. We'll get there. But anyway, we're moving along with this, and we have, and don't forget, get the tickets for the August 30th Easyway Awards support the Chalk Children's Foundation. Go to easywayawards.com. 50 nominees all confirmed. And we're going to go into that more. This is really exciting, but we have a very special guest, and I'm not saying that lightly. I'm just amazed when I read the bio. Series content creator, producer, director, cameraman, author. Aswaad has provided major television outlets such as NBC, Fox, ABC, and CBS. He was the creator of the Real Miami Vice and television series for the Miami Police Department. And it goes on and on and on and on. Aswaad has created quite a life for himself. So I'm just going to bring him on before I run out of time. Aswaad, you on with us?
I am here. How's everyone doing?
There he is. Aswaad. Reatha Gray. Reatha, meet Aswaad English.
How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Good morning. Glad to have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
But Aswaad, you're a busy guy. Thank you for coming on. I don't know how you cover all these bases, but it's got to be kind of exciting. So Aswaad's got a name on his door, and it was going to say engineer, doctor, lawyer. What brought you to what you turned, or the road you decided to take? What caused Aswaad to be a producer, director, etc.?
When I was younger, my mom, she always used to kind of throw me, my brother, and my sister into the young kid stuff like modeling and acting, and she tried to do all of that, which I think kind of planted the seed. But when we left Miami, moved to California, she threw me into Lee Strasberg's School of Performing Arts. And I remember my entire 11th grade I got none of my Saturdays. I used to literally hate it, but you learn so much later that you actually love it. But every Saturday when I was in the 11th grade, I was enrolled in Lee Strasberg School of Performing Arts in West Hollywood, and I would literally give up my entire Saturday and just go there from, I think it was 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, and you would go through every class there is: dance, improvisation, acting, method acting, everything. And, during that time, I kind of hated it, but after that, it made me really identify where I wanted to fall in the totem pole, and that's what kind of sparked it in me to, go to film school and figure it out, because doing that stuff made me realize I didn't have enough control over my outcome and my life as an actor. So I said, nah, I got to jump to the other side.
Well, you're very fortunate that your mother encouraged you in that area. I would have killed for my mother to send me to Lee Strasberg. But I always encourage parents and tell them, get your child immersed while they're young so they can find their place. So many people I don't want to say waste years, but spend years acting, and it's really not where their heart is. But they were never exposed to all the other parts of the arts. People never thought they could be producers,
Well,
but you can.
I think you said it right. You said it right on the money. What it is exposure. Like, I have 4 kids. They like totally different things from one another, but it's all about exposure. You expose them to enough stuff, they will find themselves sooner than later.
Absolutely. So what projects have you been working on lately, Asa?
Oh, man. We've been, when I left Judge Judy, Judge Joe Brown show, I used to produce, over there. And when I left those shows and, kind of said it's time, basically I went as high as I could go at those places. And we call it, in my neighborhood, we call it the top of the bottom. And once we hit the top of the bottom, and, that's when you reach the gatekeepers, and you have to get through, you have to make a decision to where you say, I either believe in myself or I need this check. And I took the leap, which I do not recommend to everybody unless you have a strong faith base. But I think I took it. It was the best decision that I could have ever made, and it rolled me into, launching my own company with Judge Joe Brown. Since then, we've done, like you said, we created The Real Miami Vice, which was basically a reality show based around the Miami PD, and we had probably the most beautiful and handsome police officers you've ever seen. And I'm talking, they looked good, but they were badasses, you know. So we had The Real Miami Vice. We did we created the family therapy space about 7 years ago on TV. Other companies have done it and ran with it, but we started it. We did the launch where we took Keisha Cole's entire family, brothers and sisters she's never met, her mother, threw them all into one big house and made them hatch out, you know, why don't I know my brother? Why don't I know my sister? You know, and we kind of created that space. And, you know, I'm just in love with real life. So that's all I want to document, you know. So I kind of, like, for the last 2 years, just since you asked what I had been doing, we had been raising funds for film. And we were able to raise enough capital to help fund the finishing funds for a Will Smith Overbrook film called The Sprinter, which is, I think it's in all the film festivals now, and it already is set up for distribution and should be coming out next year. But it was actually the film that the Sundance Initiative and Will Smith and Jada came together to do, and so, you know, I ran around, found money for them to fund that. Also, we did another faith-based movie called Hold On with Luis Guzman, and, you know, just a bunch of good projects. But what I realized on that is I just love real life. And so I walked away from that situation and said, now it's time for me to really just focus on building something that I can feed daily, because that seems to be where it's at. Everyone's attention span is short, so, you know, that kind of pushed us over to what I'm doing. We have a Judge Joe's new talk show called Hot Topics with Judge Joe Brown, and we just finished shooting a bunch of episodes for that. That airs September, in the beginning of fall for this year on LA TV. We also have it on a few affiliates under CBS and a few other ones in Detroit and stuff like that. So right now we're at about 50-something% clearance of U.S., and we're growing it organically, which we would rather do, you know, than to just kind of push it into everyone's face. We're also I'm also working with Eric Zuley, you know, because I feel like it's time for me to just kind of find a home and stay there. And I love what Easy Way has been doing. I've known Eric for some years now, and I always, you know, keep my eye on what he's doing. And I feel like he's positioned himself in a really classy space where, you know, where I like and where most of my clientele is. And, you know, so what I'm actually working on and what I'm most excited about right now is we've been talking for a while, but we finally agreed to, you know, let's just partner up. Let's relaunch. We're gonna do a relaunch and a rebranding of one of his old YouTube networks called What You Need. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna rebrand it and, you know, slap a new title on it called Celebritunity, because we wanna basically take celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, and kind of put them all in the same space and show the world how much opportunity there is out there, that you have to kind of just take it and make your own lane. And so, like, that right now is, you know, the beast that I want to feed, you know, and it organically goes with what I'm doing now. We produce so much content that it's just time to feed that beast. And Eric, he's done an amazing job of just setting up the platform. So now, you know, we're going to grow it and really give it some value.
Well, it's the one thing you have in common with Eric is no spare time. You guys just
we'll sleep when we're dead.
You know, yeah, you know, I've talked to Reatha about you know, how times change, because we go back, and she would share about the auditions where there would be 200-300 people years ago. Now you have those 200 or 300, but then you're also dealing with the online situation where their auditions could come in online. So that, along with everything else you've done, you know, you have the special effects, you have all this stuff where You don't need to hire, like in Cleopatra, the hundreds and hundreds of extras. They look as real as can be, but they're a computer. Have you enjoyed the transition going from the way it used to be? I mean, I don't know how far you go back, but to the computer age today, and we're talking about exposure. It's like what Eric does with exposure. It's amazing.
And that's why I chose to do this. A handful of people asked me to do the same thing. I chose Eric because, like when Sean Puffy Combs said, I want to do a clothing line, and he created Sean John. He didn't bring in people who needed to learn how to make the best stuff. He went right to Ralph Lauren, stole the top designer, brought him over and said, all right, let's make some good clothes. You get me? So me and Eric together, that's like the Navy and the Air Force coming together. You know what I mean? So that's just guns blazing, and it's perfect. It's guaranteed to work. But I love the transition of the new age. When I'm in meetings, I'm usually the youngest person in these meetings, and I have to almost censor myself to not offend because in a meeting, everyone's such in a traditional space that I'll sit there and be frustrated and say, this shit is old, but I don't mean age-wise. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's major transition. This is history. What's going on now is total history. Blockbuster phased out. I'm not going to mention the names, but big stores and shopping centers, even close to us, are just closing right and left until the center is gone. And it's going with the social media and the sales with the M's on it. And you guys, it's the transition not from the stores, but through the movies and all this that used to be. And the people that were big in those industries now, they're looking over their shoulder at people like Aswaad and Eric, and because it's all changing. This is major history in the making.
They've created the best climate ever. In this climate, if you have it, you can take it. And before,
absolutely,
Hollywood was filled with gatekeepers. I love the fact that as long as I am a master of my craft, I have no competition. I just have to find my audience, and that's what Eric is great at.
Yeah.
I know years ago, I went to the Screen Actors Guild, and I told them, this thing, they're calling it unscripted TV, but it's reality, and we know it as reality TV now. And I was told the public will never prefer non-professionals to professionals. And I told them then, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
That's right.
And 20 years later, the channel, like you said, the old minds just think the old ways. And if they had moved up, the networks wouldn't be losing out all of their Emmys to everybody else.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. If they don't see that, and that's where our battle always is. And I'm sure there was another issue a few generations ago where they were trying to get through the same thing. But it's like if the top executives at all of the stations, who are usually older, making the final decision, if they would sit down with us and powwow, we want the same goal. We'll feed the same beast. They could even still provide the traditional things that certain audiences want. But if any person like the one you were talking to that day, anyone who doesn't realize life is the most beautiful and entertaining thing there is, they will lose. I don't want to stand next to that person because they don't get it. Even the scripted stuff is written based on real life, but if it's scripted, now I know it has a propaganda or an agenda. When it's reality, it's one or two people's agendas going against each other, but that's damn sure entertaining.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
Look at the watch repairmen and the auto, the engines they used to have. If they didn't change on how to, fix watches and how to repair engines, they totally fell behind because I don't even open the hood anymore. I don't understand what's down there. It's all computer.
Yeah.
And it's like that in everything. Warehouses, they're no longer full of people. They're full of slowly but surely they're all transit. Even the docks, I'm finding out the docks down at a lot of the big ports, they're going to be laying off all the dockmen. it's going, AI now, with the
Absolutely.
forklifts and all that. But
well, we're almost out of town, so we want to get some information about you. How can people get to your website and see all the stuff you're involved in?
Yeah, if anyone wants to find me or needs to go, check out some of the stuff that we do, you can go to Culture One TV on Instagram, and you guys can reach me there, find me there. I can send you all my info. Plus, I think my bio link is there, which leads you to all of the videos and the stuff we've produced, as well as if you go to just Vimeo.com and type in Aswaad English, your videos will flood your search. So everything.
And how do you spell Aswaad? How do you spell Aswaad?
That is
ASWAAD.
Yep, correct. ASWAAD. Last name is English.
Aswaad
All
English.
right. Well, it's been great having you on the show. I look forward to seeing the rebranding and content that you and Eric put together. I'm sure that's going to be plenty entertaining.
And thank you, Aswaad. And we're looking forward to seeing you on August 30th at the Gold Carpet. And thank you for your time, because I know you're just rocketing all over the place. And
yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we're looking forward to it too, and I'd like to have you back sometime. You're doing so much stuff. I told you, Reatha, what does somebody like do with so much time on their hands?
Well, thank you guys for having me. I think the show is amazing, and just keep it up.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right,
so
bye-bye.
Reatha, I told
you guys
you,
have a great day.
He is one amazing gentleman, I'll tell you. And with that, Reatha, it's time to move into, I guess we got a commercial coming up here.
Commercial, and then Carmelita's Corner.
Boomers Forever Young is really making a name for themselves as an exciting nutritional company with products that really work. People from all over the country are starting to take notice. Their whole-person approach to health and wellness, combined with their unique array of powerful natural health products, are setting them apart from all the other companies in the nutrition industry. Their customers love the one-on-one free consultations and the results they experience. Sound a little too good to be true? Then go online to boomerboost.com today and sign up for a free consultation with a product specialist, or just give us a call at 1-800-861-4609. Again, that's boomerboost.com, or call 1-800-861-4609 to join the thousands already experiencing the benefits of Boomers Forever Young products.
You are about to experience Carmelita's Corner. Carmelita's song Rosebud made it to the top 40s with the godfather of soul, James Brown. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. Now here's your host, Carmelita Pittman.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And here we are, coming your way another day. And we have a great guest. Her name is Georgette. And she's quite an eyeful. I'm telling you. Georgette, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Carmelita.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, Georgette, you're coming from quite a distance. Guess you've been here for a while. I guess you can tell us more about that. But your origin is from Caracas, Venezuela. And, yes. Can you give us your full name?
Yeah, my name is Georgette Carvajal.
That's right. Okay. So anyway, I want to first of all congratulate you because you are the first supermodel on the CD Wilson events, which was just held July the 13th.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't realize
probably. Yeah, you're probably still sailing high, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Wow,
true.
that's
Yeah, it was a
great.
really, really good experience. Yeah, I have to thank to Carl because he was really a really, really great producer of this event.
Oh yes, he has quite a reputation as a super producer too. Yeah, that's amazing. And this was the first event of its kind, so you are a first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm really, really, really super happy about this, and I have to thank Carl, of course, for
Yes.
this.
Well, now, is your family here also in
Oh
California?
no. Well, my family is in Venezuela, so I came with my husband in 2015. We moved to America in 2015, and we decided to move here to LA because my husband has family here, so his mom is here and his dad too. So that's why we decided to come to LA.
Uh-huh. And what was that experience, the process of coming here from Venezuela?
Well, the process is well. I think for everybody, it's not a secret that Venezuela is going through a difficult situation, and we think that my husband and I think that we need to move to another country to have a better life. And I think in our future, sorry, and that's why we decided to come here. And I like America, of course. I like LA, and the process it wasn't easy, but I think I'm used to I'm sorry, Carmelita. I'm trying. My English is not very well.
Well, it's very understandable. So just take your time, and I'm sure I can understand you. I'm sure that our listeners can too. And first of all, congratulations on taking on another culture. I know that must not be easy. So yeah, but you're doing great.
Oh, thank you, Carmelita. Actually, I love the people here. I love, the way that they are, treat me in this country is really good.
Well, that's good. It sounds like you have a lot of support.
Yeah.
And you have your own business too, right?
Yeah, I have my own business. I'm a belly dancer, full-time belly dancer, and I teach belly dance classes. And I do shows in Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday, and the rest of the week I'm teaching belly dance classes in other studios, Arte Flamenco, and in Alhambra, in Irvine and Long Beach too.
Wow, you get around.
Yeah.
And how did you come upon becoming a belly dancer? What motivated you to go in that direction?
Well, I started the belly dance. I discovered belly dance or Oriental dance in 2010, and in Venezuela, of course, and it has been my passion ever since. And I started, I got my bachelor's degree, of course, in business administration in Venezuela, but it was a hobby. Belly dance, it was a hobby. And then when I moved here to United States, so I do it as a professional dancer. So, yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Well, of course, you should get lots of work. I mean, anybody that sees you would want to hire you, and your costume that I saw that you were wearing is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. The majority of my costumes, I made it, and it's a lot of work, of course. And the other ones, well, I have to buy it, and they are really expensive costumes. And yeah, because they have stones and all that jewelry that to shine on the stage.
Yes. Mhm. And so,
Yeah.
do you get invited for weddings and things like that to perform?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah, I do weddings, private events, birthdays, any occasion. For a show of belly dance, any occasion.
Mhm. It is a beautiful dance. I'm quite familiar with it because my stepfather was from the Pakistan, and that part of the world, it's near where you see that kind of dancing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Mhm. Actually, when I was a little girl, I learned how to do Hindu Manipuri dancing, which I learned from one of my stepfather's friends, Bhupesh Guha. And there's this similarity with the hand movements, but we don't do the belly thing, but the eyes and the head, you move your head from side to side and in a way that it doesn't look like you're moving, but you are. And it was something that I was intrigued with when I was a little girl. When I saw the dancers, I like you see something and it is intriguing, and then you want to do that. So that's how I wound up getting involved as a youngster.
Yeah, actually, that kind of dance is really difficult. You have to have a really good coordination with your hands and head. So I see it, and it's super good.
Well, I remember Bhupesh had a method, and actually, when you really look at it, it was mathematical. As he was talking about the rhythms of the music, it's not like Western music. The way they count, it's really, like you said, it's very complex.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, what are your plans now? Now that you have this new title, what are you going to do with it?
Well, I was talking with Carl, and he has a couple of events, and I'm super excited about that. Actually, the first event that is coming up is the Red Diamond dinner on November 10th, and I'm super excited about that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's getting into the holidays. The winter holiday season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to see you there.
Well, that's great, and he's probably listening now. Carl, if you're listening, we're going to give you a shout out. Yeah, hello. Yeah, so that's great, and so anyway, I want to thank you for taking your time to come out and be on Carmelita's Corner. It's a fun show, just conversational, like I told you. And we've had a lot of great guests, including yourself. And is there anything in particular before we leave that you want to tell our listening audience?
Oh, well, first of all, I have to thank you for inviting me. And I want to invite everybody. I'm going to be in a big show, big production, and belly dance. And this is going to be in El Portal Theater in North Hollywood, coming up August the 24th. The Belly Dance Evolution 10 years anniversary. So I'm going to be dancing with them, and I hope everybody can come.
Oh, that sounds exciting. My goodness.
Yeah.
And how can they reach you? I mean, you want to tell everybody how to reach you on your website?
Yeah, of course. So my website is www.georgettebellydancestudio.com, and my social media and Instagram is Georgette Belly Dancer, and my Facebook fan page is the same, Georgette Belly Dancer.
Okay, you've got it all covered there. That's great. And while we're doing some info, I'd like to invite everybody to come out to the big event that's being produced on August the 30th. It's going to be at a private location in Orange County. I would like for everybody to go to the production page and the awards page of Easy Way Awards. And, of course, they can always find out more on the www.easywaybroadcasting.com. That has everything housed there. And our radio show is on www.easyradio.com. So we've got a lot of ways to be reached, and I know it's going to be a first of its kind. And I look forward to seeing everyone there, and perhaps maybe Georgette will be there too. Okay. So, again, thank you for coming. And we're going to be on our way now.
Okay. Thank you, Carmelita. Have a great day.
You too, Georgette.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Smartphone, cell phone, PC, Mac, tablet, iPad. That's right. It's tech time.
Well, we've talked about how times are changing, and we've talked about how the boomers as well as the millennials are overweight. And I'm going to talk about things that have changed over time and are helping to make us all overweight. And that is home delivery of food. Remember back in the day when the only place you could call up and they would deliver food to your house was the pizza parlor, and you had to live near one in order for them to deliver it? Well, those times have changed. They have delivery services. In my area, there are Postmates, there's DoorDash, there's Grubhub, there's Uber Eats. You just call them up, or actually you go online. You look at the menu. You pick out whatever kind of food you want. You order it, and they deliver it to your door, and you pay for it online. So no money is ever exchanged. You don't have to worry about walking out and having someone club you over the head because you've got a $20 bill in your hand, because it's all paid for online. It's all ordered online. It is amazing. I have to admit, my cousin came up with this idea years ago, and I laughed. I said, who's going to order food from home from all these fast food places? No one's going to do that. They're not going to pay for that. Well, 2019, I'm paying for it. Did you know you can even order Baskin-Robbins, and they will bring it? You can order a cone, I would imagine. It would melt, I guess so. But at least a couple of scoops. I saw a sign in Baskin-Robbins' window that they delivered through one of these services. They do charge a fee, and you do need to tip them, but you don't have to get up out of your house. Most of them will deliver up until about 10 o'clock at night, up until the time the restaurant closes. For the most part, my food has arrived hot. I know where I'm ordering from usually, so I know what I want. It's always delicious because, like I said, I know what I want. It arrives pretty much within the time they tell you, usually about a half an hour delivery time, because they have to go pick it up. They have to order it. They pick it up, and they bring it to you. But even in that time, my food, when it arrives, is still hot, still tastes good. The soda's still cold. Oh yeah, you can order sodas. You can order fountain drinks. They deliver it directly to your door, and it's all done on the internet. So you can Google Postmates or DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats if you already have an Uber account. You set up an account with any of these. Then you can look up what restaurants they deliver from. Most of them overlap. Or you can go directly to the website of the restaurant and see if they deliver. And if you don't want to pay that delivery charge, you can go online, order online, and then go pick it up yourself and save that delivery charge. It's a wonderful time that we live in. We can get food ready at the restaurants. So fast food doesn't have to be burger and fries. It can be a steak and lobster, which I have ordered and picked up like it was fast food. And a lot of the restaurants, they have parking spaces just for you to park, and they will bring the food out to your car. Again, it's paid for all over the internet. You don't have to walk around with cash. It's a wonderful thing. I love this modern age that we live in. That is my tech time for today. And moving on to Jim's Gym.
Okay, baby boomers, it's time for Gems from Jim.
Yes, indeed. And I could see all of us just sitting in that big recliner chair and ordering whatever we want, watching our favorite movie. I don't know. But anyway, subscribe to EasyWay.tv or text EasyWay to go 55678. And I'll tell you, EasyWay funnels, and it just goes on. And this is really exciting. But, I searched the web to try to find a few things that might be interesting for you. And I found an article on Televox Solutions. And it's a article about the 10 baby boomer health trends. So I'm going to go over those with you and share some of the stuff and take it from there, ways to improve your life, issues we have, and so on and so forth. So number one is obesity. While baby boomers are living longer than any other previous generation, they also have the dubious distinction of having the highest rates of obesity for their age bracket than any other generation. More food conscious. That's what we were talking about. One survey indicated that 4 in 5 baby boomers are more food conscious, more attentive to food labels, and know more about the origins of their food products than they did in 1980. That's good because you want to follow, and I stick to the organic now because where the food's grown makes a difference, and organic is basically healthier. Not as healthy as the previous generation. Compared to previous generations, one study found that people between the age of 50 and 64 are more likely to need assistance with personal care activities due to medical conditions. So we want to avoid that by eating properly and getting your exercise in. More active. One study showed that active people enjoyed 16 additional years of healthy living than sedentary people. And Reatha's in trouble. We're talking about sitting in that chair, and I tell you what, it's very tempting. The choice of going out, running somewhere, and doing all this stuff, or sitting in a recliner watching a cool movie with your delivered goods, your food, coming right to your chair. More prescription medications between 96 and 2006. There was a 25% increase in the number of people between the ages of 55 and 64 who received more than 5 prescriptions during a hospital visit. And I can relate to that. When I was getting all this chemo, they were literally coming in and it looked like a bowl of Cheerios. I should put milk on the vitamins, on the medication, just eat them, put some sugar on top. They get jacked up. In 2008, 61% of people between the ages of 40 and 59 drank coffee every day, while only 47% of those between 25 and 39 did it on a daily basis. Weightier options. With more than 100 million Americans now over the age of 50, their votes and dollars are recognized as being more important than ever. More marketing attention. There will be a growing effort to develop and sell to boomers' devices aimed at extending personal independence or aging in place. More medical attention in 2030, there will be nearly 3 times as many people over the age of 65 than there were in 1980. So just give you, there you go, Reatha, just a couple little tidbits and facts of what's going on. And it's, you know, like we talk about, we got to get in shape, you know. So
yeah, we really do.
We're going to set a trend. Reatha and I are going to start a jogging club. And every morning we're going to go out at like 6 in the morning, and we're going to jog a couple miles, and we want you to start teaming up with us, those of you in Southern California. What do you think, Reatha?
Speak for yourself, Jim. I'm not doing it.
Looks like I'll be jogging alone. No, I don't even think I'll be out there. But I don't know, Reatha. It's really something to be concerned with, because with this, you know, we talk about with this situation, you know, with sedimentary, which is a big one. You know, it creates health issues. And, you know, I found that out in the hospital. You got to keep moving. The people.
Well, that's just it. We do move, Jim. It's not like we don't move. We're both very active people. But we do need to have that regimented time. I said I'm going to start going back and doing water aerobics. I love water aerobics. So
that's a good one.
I said I was going to start back doing that. But we do a bunch of running around. Like, we're going to be going to the event on August 30th, and we're going to be moving and grooving then. I know you're going to be running camera and interviewing people. I'm going to be emceeing. We're going to be all over the place. Can't wait for it. I'm really looking forward to being out on that carpet and meeting all the influencers that are going to be there.
Oh, man, we got 50 nominees confirmed, and 10 or more Easy Way legends. Established people, and you'll be able to network with and talk to and meet and so on and so forth. And you got the swag bags, some fancy swag bags coming out there, and easywaynetwork@gmail.com, or you can call 424-209-9290 for if you want to sponsor. And you know, this is quite a situation that are put together. I mean, we have all the nominees and the presenters, and you know, it's like we're really at Eric's became the focal point for the transition of all this. A lot of the media, television and radio is transferring to online, and online wants the television and radio. They all want each other, and he's kind of became the connector with all this. And boy, this is going to be quite a little scenario down there. And you're going to be on stage, Reatha.
I'm going to be emceeing. I look forward to just being in that space with all that energy. It's going to be some really positive, good energy, wonderful people. All of them deserve awards. There will be no losers, because everyone there is going to be a winner.
You know, Reatha, the thing is, you know, everybody can't win, but they are all going to win, because if you're a nominee and you receive an award or you don't receive an award, you won anyway, because there's so much exposure on this that the nominees are receiving. All the nominees are receiving a ton of exposure, more than what was even possible for these big award shows years ago. Even the big ones, they didn't have this online situation. It goes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's
around the world.
Around the world. I mean, they didn't have that. You had it on television. That was it. This is I don't know how it all works, but it is amazing. And you know, they talk about that transatlantic cable, how it you know, I was doing some research on that. That's amazing how they can make a cable that long. But maybe we should do a scuba thing and check that out. I don't know. But
I don't think so.
That's your thing. But
my scuba days are over. But you know what? It's time for us to do our extended 15 minutes with you and Jerry.
Oh yeah, this has been amazing with Jerry Kane and the benefits from segment. You know, that's our new segment, Baby Boomer Benefits, and I'll tell you, there's so many things we didn't know, and we're going to be bringing Jury on now.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be listening, but I'm going to leave the show in the two of your very capable hands.
Well, thank you, Reatha, and we'll be talking to you. And with that, let's bring on Baby Boomer Benefits with Jerry Kane and all the benefits for the seniors and the veterans.
Good morning. This is Jerry Kane.
Good morning, Jerry. Good morning, Jerry. And
how you doing, Jim?
Amazing show, and we're telling everybody about our new segment with you and all the benefits you bring to people and opening people's eyes on what's going on out there. It's exciting.
Yes.
You know, it's so exciting. And what we talked about before, Jerry, it's just a shame that a lot of us are the ostrich. We got our head in the sand, and we're not aware of so much that's going on, which you probably have known, have found out when you talk to the seniors and the vets, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so much to think about and know, and, this show is all about talking about how do we protect assets, how do we ensure that, what's people's biggest fear? Outliving their money. So how do we help people not outlive their money? In fact, people believe that, they have a bigger fear of outliving their money than actually dying, which is amazing. So we want to help people not outlive their assets, help educate them on how money works so that they can make better choices, help them avail themselves to the many benefits out there, including the benefits for veterans where they can get $2,000 a month in tax-free benefits for the rest of their life.
Wow.
So today's show, I'm going to probably talk just a little bit about veterans benefits if we have time, but I wanted to talk about money and how it works. And for boomers, that means starting to shift their thinking. For those that might be younger listening, now is the time to sit down with an expert to determine what's the proper way to be saving for retirement. And I read a book, which I recommend that people pick up and read, called The Power of Zero by David McKnight, where he first of all, he indicates that the likelihood of taxes being higher in the future is inevitable. And that's due to many factors. Right now, 74 cents of every dollar in tax is going to fund programs such as Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. And people are living a lot longer, too. Some, octogenarians is becoming a huge category, people making it to age 100. So what's the problem? The life expectancy when Social Security was established was 63. And, the payout was at 65. So really it was set up for people living too long. Now people are living longer than they expected. So these programs are running out of money, and inevitably taxes are going to have to be higher in the future. So the question is, would you rather be taxed now when taxes are lower, or in the future when taxes might be higher? And so that's the question. And we talk about in general that there are three different buckets in the ways that money is saved and the way that money is taxed. Money can be taxed now as it's earned, and these are things that are such as your savings account, your CDs, your brokerage accounts, etc. Money can be taxed when you pull it out, and this is your traditional IRA or your 401k, and money that's taxed now, and it's not taxed again when you pull the money out. And these are things such as a Roth IRA, and little that most people know, there's a retirement life insurance policy that can be set up that will allow you to pull out money tax-free when the money comes out. And this is something that 80% of all the major CEOs in the world are taking advantage of today. So the question is, where should you be invested in? And, the money that's in the taxable bucket is the most liquid, meaning you can get to it quickly, but it will be taxed all along. So experts recommend that you keep about 6 months in this bucket in the event that you stopped working as an emergency fund. Or if you already have retired, that you have 6 months of immediate expenses, and no more than that amount, because the rest should be working for you and creating additional assets and additional income. The IRAs and 401ks you have, there's actually an optimal amount that you should have in these funds. And the optimal amount that experts agree on is the amount that when you start taking minimum distributions at 70.5, that they can be taxed at the 0% tax bracket. So you heard me. Wouldn't you all like to be taxed at the 0% tax bracket? How about you, Jim?
Amazing. Oh, that's amazing. You know,
and the reason is, go ahead.
You know, Jerry, the thing is, what I don't understand, and I guess this is maybe not your or my field, but people sometimes hear all this good stuff, and I'm guilty of this, whether it's, you know, certain diets to have or, you know, programs like you're talking about, and they get a little interested, and although it's so good for them, it takes several times for them to hear it to finally follow through, if at all. They become entrenched, and even though something's good for them, sometimes they still don't do it. That's amazing, because the stuff you're telling us is just life-changing for a senior or for a millennial, big time, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it does sound like it's too good to be true also, that how can you be taxed at a 0% tax bracket? And if it's done right and done properly, you will pay no taxes when you retire at all. And that's the amazing thing. And, you know, if you do the math, even if taxes go up in the future, 0 times 0 is still 0.
Yeah.
Or 0 times 24% is still 0. So, you know, experts agree that the... Yeah.
I got a question for you. Now, okay, so you want to get, I'm 35 years old, I want to get some kind of deal going here, and should I go for the life insurance where I pay $100 or $150 a month and get a policy for 70? Well, I don't know. That's an older person, maybe $150,000, and then when I get older, I could start borrowing on that. Well, you're not really borrowing on it because you could take out the money you paid in. Say you had a policy for $200,000, and 30 years later, the money you take out doesn't really have to be paid back, does it? If it's a life insurance policy.
No, when the money comes out tax-free and does not have to be paid back.
No, not like an equity credit line. You take some money out of your house, you have to pay it back. People think, oh,
no,
that's my money.
It's one of the greatest features in our tax code that the IRS has, and they've tried to change this in the past, but the insurance lobby I think is so big that they've prevented it from happening. That money coming out of a life insurance policy is free from all income taxes in most cases. And that's what's amazing.
The difference might be that you don't draw any interest on this money that's in there, where an IRA or the money in your savings account, which is like nothing, 2%, there's no interest that you would get on that. It's just money you put in there, correct?
No, that's not true at all. Yeah, the money grows.
Oh, good.
The insurance company can pay you an interest rate. And the other amazing thing is that these things can be set up as a volatility shield too, so that what happens is that if the market goes up, you can participate in the market gains. But what happens if the market goes down? Well, you don't lose a dime. So in good years, the market goes up, you participate in those gains, and when the market goes down, you don't lose any money whatsoever. So you used to think that, well, in order to get these high returns, you've got to take a lot of risk in the stock market. Well, now you can get up to 14% returns in some of these types of vehicles because the insurance companies are making them real enticing for people to get into. And they're very different than what they used to be.
What about so we're sitting at a table here. Which route do I want to go? Should you go both, IRA or, you know, the life insurance? Or do you think, I mean, is it not as much, what's more enticing to people that they would rather have an IRA account than to me, it seems the life insurance policy would be the way to go. It's safer.
Well, you know, there are pros and cons to everything, and it really just depends on what it is you're trying to accomplish and many other factors. You know, Roths also come out tax-free, but there's limitations. You can only put in a certain dollar amount, $6,000, I believe, and that's phased out if you're a higher income earner. So that might not be available to you. And also, you want to take advantage of your employer's 401k if they're matching, because that's free money. So it really depends on your situation. You know, if you're trying to, this basically allows you to create your own private pension. And a lot of people today, you know, aren't getting pensions like they did in the future. So you need to create your own private pension that's going to come out tax-free. Because what happens, you know, when the money comes out, A, let's say, you know, it's worth 50% less than you thought it was because we're in a down market like in 2008, and B, it's taxed at whatever ordinary income tax bracket is in place at that time. So basically, in those types of vehicles, the IRAs and the 401ks, you're in partnership with the IRS, and the IRS each year gets to vote on how much tax you're going to be paying on those distributions when they come out. So there is an optimal amount, and experts agree that that amount is the amount of the standard deduction. Is when minimum distributions come out at 70.5, that the amount of the standard deduction covers the minimum distributions. And that, again, allows you to pay, in many cases, a 0% tax because it's offset by the standard deduction.
It's offset. Okay, so I remember back you mentioned the matching. I mean, this was, I don't know, maybe 50 years ago. Sears had a good policy where they would match the funds that you had in your retirement. And that was people were retiring with a lot of money. So I don't know. It seems like it would be a pretty safe situation by having a good policy through a life insurance company. So you have your life insurance plus the ability to draw on it. Now, even if you're a senior, you could, or if you're 55 or 60, it's still worth opening up a life insurance policy, correct?
Correct, yes. It can be in many situations. And it's still worth looking at, you know, right now with income tax brackets being as low as they have been in history, there's right now it's a huge tax sale. And we know when that's going to change in 2026. The law automatically disappears. The what's it called? The Tax and Growth Jobs Act or whatever it's called vanishes, and we go back to whatever the prior law was at the time. So right now, you know, we're at a situation where most people are in the 22 and 24% tax bracket, which goes up pretty high. The 24% tax bracket goes all the way up to $321,000 in income for a joint couple. So in this environment, it sometimes can make sense to shift assets around. And, you know, somebody like myself who's an expert in all this can figure out what's the optimal amount that you should be shifting, paying the tax on it, and getting it into vehicles that are going to pay no tax when the money comes out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know, those of you that are listening, this is just a gold mine. What Jerry's telling you is it's a life changer for you. If you're listening and you're 30 and 40 years old, but even if you're over 40, 50, or 60, it still makes a big difference. Now, okay, Jerry, so what would you say if somebody's, say, 35 years old, what should they be looking at if they want to take something out? Is it basically how much they can afford to pay each month to cut out of their income to what can they afford as far as the policy? Or would there be a certain overall figure that you try to have and then you try to be able to afford that payment? Like, should you be looking at $200,000 or $300,000? You know, it's a lot cheaper if you get it at 35, 40 rather than 60, of course.
Yeah. Well, I say, you know, and invest as much as you can without affecting your overall lifestyle.
Right. Okay.
But, you know, most people spend money and save whatever's left rather than doing the opposite. Save and figure out what their expenses are after they've saved money. So if people change their mindset to save as much as possible and then spend the rest on pay yourself first, you'd be surprised how much money is actually available. And, you know, if your goal, you have to sit down and figure out what's your goal. Do you want to retire at 70? Do you want to retire at 60? Whatever that number is, we can back into it and say, for you to reach that goal, you got to be putting aside $200 a month or $1,000 a month to reach that goal, looking at how much that's going to grow and at what age you're going to retire, and what's, the optimal amount that can go into that. And then it's up to you. You can put in the optimal amount, or you can put somewhat less into it.
And I'll close with this. This has been your segment on here is a gold mine, and I'll tell you now, guys, this is something that is a fact. 20 years goes fast. I mean, I'm a positive person, but it does. It goes very fast, and you just take a little chunk of this and that, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. That's $100, $200 a month is nothing to put aside. And in 20 years, you're going to turn around and go, boy, I'm glad I did this, because you got a big chunk in the bank, in your policy.
That is so true.
Oh, yeah. And believe me, Jerry, a lot of us, baby boomers wish we would have, some did, but most didn't, wish we would have thought of this a while back. But with that, Jerry, our time is up.
Yeah.
And,
well,
again,
Jim, just so I could say, our job is to help you figure out legally and financially how to protect your assets, how to retire properly, and, how to not outlive your money. And that can be done with proper financial planning. It can be done with proper legal planning. And as we've mentioned in previous segments, getting veterans benefits for our veterans out there of over $2,000 a month can also help you not outlive your assets and age in dignity. So how do you reach us? Give us a call at 818-905-6088. There's no consultation fee as long as you mention that you heard us on this show, Baby Boomer Benefits. And we look forward to seeing you next week at the same time of 11 o'clock. And thank you, Jim. It's been a great show, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
It has been, Jerry, and thank you for all that great information. Easy Way Broadcasting has its own Roku network and also been approved to be on iHeartRadio. Go to EasyWayPromotions.com and subscribe to Easy Way TV or text Easy Way TV to 55678. Radio Boomers Live is going to be signing off now. And thank you, Jerry, Carmelita, and Reatha. We will be back next Monday morning, 10 o'clock, and we'll see you then. Until then, keep active, keep healthy, keep moving, keep the faith. Radio Boomers Live signing off.
Thank you for listening to Radio Boomers Live with your hosts, Reatha Gray, Star Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Radio Boomers Live. Radio Boomers Live is brought to you by the Easy Way Broadcasting Network. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Broadcasting Network.
Okay. FM 90.7.